Julia lands on the sunny and breezy islands and is taken to Kona Farms and Resort, the largest coffee and tea farm and resort located on the west side of the Big Island. This is Julia's next home of her choosing for the time being, indefinitely. Julia is greeted by the Nakamura family, the farm and resort owners, upon her arrival. Mr. and Mrs. Nakamura are both in their 50s. They have twin sons around Julia's age, with one still living with them due to inborn fragile heart health, Peter. Julia receives a tour around the resort and is ushered to her own private cottage. To her surprise, Julia finds a grand piano on her cottage porch. She did not request for this. Mr. and Mrs. Nakamura appear to have gone their way out to accommodate as much of Julia's perceived needs. Little do they know, Julia is actually pretty minimal and low maintenance. She has chosen Kona Farms and Resort as her new home for what it already is, not for what it could be for its guests. To his confusion, Peter's heart starts to beat uncontrollably fast the minute Julia steps out of the car. Long, silky ebony hair and blue eyes, to Peter, Julia is undeniably stunning. But Peter isn't the type to be easily moved by mere looks. Is it Julia's high-profile status? She's a renowned world-class pianist. Is it her grace? She's soft-spoken and aloof at the same time, with controlled smiles. A sense of deep familiarity runs through all over Peter's veins as Julia's cold hand shakes his. Accompanied by Julia's blank stare deep into his dark cocoa eyes, Peter can't help but feel self-conscious. To him, this girl seems intimidating without even saying much. Unreadable but does not appear mysterious either. As much as Peter tries to verify his memories, this is the first time he's meeting Julia in person. Morning dew with a hint of jasmine. Julia breathes in the fresh scent of coffee trees early in the morning with closed eyes. Endless rows of tropical evergreen shrubs with flowers that look like jasmine and fruits that look like cherries envelope her and Peter. It's Julia's first time harvesting for coffee beans, accompanied and trained by Peter. Both dressed in white, a feminine peasant shirt and a semi-fitted Henley shirt, the two almost look like a couple, blending in perfectly with their picturesque surroundings. Julia can sense Peter's slight shyness around her. Having raised in a farm on a remote island all his life, Julia finds Peter's humbleness refreshing and rather endearing. It isn't enough to make her actually put in the effort for a full-on conversation, however. The lady is someone of few words until Peter starts humming a tune. Julia turns around to face Peter with a bewildered look on her face, her straw hat falling off her head from her swift motion. Peter is quick to the rescue, catching Julia's hat before it falls to the ground. Frozen in place, Julia stares at Peter in shock and confusion. Peter is as shocked and confused as Julia when Julia started questioning him as to where or how he learned to hum a particular tune. It's a tune he came up with and been humming since last year, or at least that's what it feels like. Peter never really gave the tune much thought until Julia made a big deal about it. Peter starts to Google search Julia to learn more about her profile, her past, anything he can find without knowing what he's looking for exactly. Peter learns about Julia's ex-fiance's plane accident and passing, giving Peter an idea as to why Julia appears to be melancholic. Keith Jung. The name sounds familiar, but Peter does not know where he heard that name from before. Neither is he familiar with the ex-fiancé pianist. Julia wakes up to the sound of pouring midday sun shower. Straight out of bed, she walks slowly to her porch to stretch. She pauses for a second as her gaze lands on the piano. Then, looking back ahead, she sights a rainbow just almost right above her cottage roof. She's never seen a rainbow so vibrant and up close before. Only in paradise. Julia rests the weight of her arm against the porch railing as she extends the other outside to feel the rain with her palm. The weather puts Julia in good spirits. It's a good morning. Turning her head back to the piano, Julia suddenly starts to realize no matter how much she tries to escape from it, piano must be her fate. Wherever she goes, it seems to follow her. Taking her rightful seat, Julia starts to play the one sole piece she's been avoiding to play for the past year. Untitled and unreleased, it's a piece she and Keith, her late longtime boyfriend since high school and ex-fiancé, composed together out of boredom. It's the same tune Peter was surprisingly humming the other day. Chamomile, Peter's favorite tea lately. It calms down his uncontrollable heart palpitations. Waiting for the midday sun shower to pass, Peter rests from tending the field underneath a big shade tree. A rattan basket of harvested chamomile flowers lays right next to him. The relaxing aroma, coupled with the scent of freshly wet grass, puts Peter in exceedingly serene spirits until a faint familiar tune can be heard from afar. Peter suddenly opens his closed resting eyes as the music becomes more and more vivid to him. Peter recognizes the tune. It's the same tune he always hums, except this one is the full version. Before he knows it, Peter is already on his feet, walking towards where the music is coming from. As Peter draws near, he finds himself walking towards Julia's cottage. Stepping into Julia's porch, Peter slowly and nervously walks towards Julia playing the piano. His heart reverberates wildly underneath his chest. His hands start to shake. Sweat starts to drip off his forehead. His vision turns blurry, then pitch black. Bam! Julia's piano playing is taken aback by a sudden jump off the floor underneath her feet, accompanied by a loud thud. Julia turns around to see Peter lying on her porch, unconscious. Julia quickly runs towards Peter. "Peter! Peter! Wake up!" No response. Pulse check but no breathing. Julia performs CPR. No response. Julia runs inside her room to grab her phone, dials 911, performs CPR once again as she waits for the ambulance to arrive. At the hospital, Julia is surprised to find out almost all of the healthcare staff recognize Peter. Julia is about to call Mr. and Mrs. Nakamura about Peter's incident when they arrive running hurriedly to the hospital. Several minutes later, Peter is taken out of the emergency room into the recovery floor, but still unconscious. However, his breathing has come back and is just resting now. The doctor informs everyone that Peter's heart fell into a shock, blocking the flow of blood to his brain, hence rendering him unconscious. Julia learns that Peter underwent a heart transplant just a year ago and is still heavily monitored to make sure his new heart is compatible with his body. Julia and Peter arrive back to the main lodge for lunch, laughing together after a full morning of harvesting from the coffee farm. They have grown close together for the past few weeks after Peter's recovery from his fainting incident. Much to Julia's surprise, she finds Mr. and Mrs. Jung, Keith's parents, in the lodge, having tea with Mr. and Mrs. Nakamura. Mr. Jung, Mrs. Jung, did you come here to find me? Julia greets her former in-laws. Juliana, my dear, no. I mean, yes, but we didn't know you were coming to the Big Island and better yet, to Kona Farms, Mrs. Jung exclaims. Juliana, do you know Mr. and Mrs. Jung? Mrs. Nakamura interrupts. Their late son, Keith Jung, was apparently Peter's heart donor.